Are you the person that you're claiming to be? Are you the person that you want to be? They seem like completely different questions, but in reality, they're one the same. We always have some sort of idea that who we want to be in life and what is like our ultimate version of ourselves look like. But most of the time, our daily decisions don't actually reflect who we want to be or who we claimed to be. You see, the reason I ask those questions is because I want you to think really hard if the answer to that is yes or a no. Most likely, it is a no. For me, even for myself, to open up, I would say no, right? We always have some sort of idea who we are in our head, but our actions speak quite the opposite. But in order for us to become the version of ourselves that we want to be, we have to act in accordance. Because acting in accordance to our ultimate self requires us to make different decisions. We are currently the byproduct of decisions we made previously. And those decisions either made us very happy or we're currently very unhappy, right? So most people are in between. With different decisions, you build proof that you are the person that you claim to be. And every time you act the opposite, you disprove your claim as to who you are or want to be. So the most important thing is that you build the proof that you are who you claim to be. And the way you do that is by making different decisions. I went out one day to the park. I wanted to take my mind off of a little bit from work. And I took a journal with me and I introspected about the fact that, what are the decisions that I regretted the most? And I wrote them down, and what would have changed if I made a different decision in that moment. And I also wrote them down, the possible outcomes of it. And I found that it could have been, or I could have been a completely different person if I had just made different decisions. And that different decision comes from your internal process of micro choices, where there's a split second decision that you have to make between right and wrong choice, and in that split second your subconscious mind or your consciously chose the wrong one over and over again, that made you end up in this place in the first place. So imagine now you're fighting all of these micro decisions that became habitual against something that wants better for you, and which is a more difficult decision. And when I finished journaling, I asked myself, I finished the journal that whatever done is done, right? You can beat yourself up as much as you want about your previous decisions, but the reality is nothing is going to change them anyway. What's done is done. It's in the past. What you can do now is to make a different decision. And once the time comes, will you make a different decision? And that is the most important thing you have to realize. Excuse me. The thing you have to realize is that every day you have a choice between your current self, your past self, and your future self. And the decisions you make, the major and the smaller ones every day, will decide which direction or which version of yourself you're currently choosing. Instead of, let's say, playing video games all the time, how about you pick up a book? Instead of sulking in your own emotions, how about you go to the gym? Instead of scrolling on Instagram or the TikTok or any social media, how about you spend that 1 hour learning a skill? Those take equally the same time. It's just the effort is different. But because the effort is different, that is what will make the biggest trajectory change in your life. But that decision has to be done in a split second, where you're deliberating between one or the other. And you have to make the right choice. Because that split second can either build or destroy your life completely. It is what separates the high achievers from the impulsive addicts, let's just call it that have no control over their choices because they've completely given that up through bad decisions they've made in life. And every time you make a bad split-second decision internally as to what to choose, you go into one or the other direction. And I think that's important to realize, that at the end of the day, the sum of choices you made that day, over a single day, and then over a single week, month, years, etc., will accumulate into the version of you that exists in the present moment. And if the current version of you in the present moment is dissatisfactory to you, that is a direct signal that you need to make a different choice in life.